Good evening, dear student. In our daily life, we come across many instances like we find it very difficult to stop at once while running at high speed. It is difficult to displace a heavy load. When water spurts out of a sprinkler, the sprinkler rotates in the opposite direction. When a person jumps out of a moving bus or a train, he is likely to fall in the forward direction. Today we shall try to find out answers of these phenomena or incidents. And all these incidences can be explained by Newton's laws of motion. Isaac Newton generalized three laws of motion which govern the motion of bodies. These laws are known as Newton's laws of motion after the name of great physicist Isaac Newton. Newton's first law of motion, Newton's second law of motion, Newton's third law of motion. Newton's first law of motion is also known as law of inertia. First of all, we shall find out what is the meaning of inertia. What is inertia? Inertia is inability of an object to change its state of rest or uniform motion by itself. What is inertia? Inertia is the inability of an object to change its state of rest or uniform motion along a straight line by itself. It means an object at rest cannot change its state of rest by itself. An object which is in uniform motion cannot change its state of uniform motion. That is, it cannot increase or decrease the speed of the body. It cannot change the direction of the body. Inertia depends on mass. Greater the mass, greater will be the inertia. For example, it will be easy for you to kick a football and change its state of rest by just kicking it. But it will be very difficult for you to change the state of rest of a piece of stone of the same size. This is because the piece of stone has more mass and therefore more inertia, and in order to change its state of rest, more force will be required. Therefore, inertia of a body depends on mass. How? Greater the mass, greater is the inertia. So, inertia is inability of an object to change its state of rest or uniform motion along a straight line. Now, after clearing the concept of the inertia, we are in a position to make a statement of Newton's first law of motion. Newton's first law of motion states that a body continues in the state of rest or uniform motion until and unless it is acted upon by an external unbalanced force. What is the statement? A body continues to be in the state of rest or uniform motion along a straight line until and unless it is acted upon by an external unbalanced force. Means, if a body is at rest, it will remain at rest. If it is moving, it will continue to move with the same speed in the same direction until and unless an external force act on it. एक बॉडी अगर रेस्ट में है तो वो रुकी ही रहेगी. If it is in motion, अगर वो मोशन है, it will continue to move, ये मूव करती रहेगी until and unless, जब तक कि ना लगाया जाए an external unbalanced force, जब तक उस पर फोर्स ना लगाए. This football is at rest, and in order to change the state of rest, we have to apply force on it in the form of the kick. If you intend to decrease or increase the speed of an object, force has to be applied either in the direction of the motion or in the opposite direction of the motion. If the force is applied in the direction in which the body is moving, its speed is likely to increase. And if the force is applied in the opposite direction to the direction of the motion of the body, the speed of the body is likely to decrease. So एक ऑब्जेक्ट अपनी स्टेट की रेस या यूनिफॉर्म मोशन की रेस को खुद स्वयं परिवर्तित नहीं कर सकता जब तक उस पर एक एक्सटर्नल फोर्स नहीं लगाया जाए. दिस स्टेटमेंट is known as Newton's law of motion, or it is also known as the law of inertia. You have seen that the inertia is of three types: inertia of rest, inertia of motion, inertia of direction. Inertia of rest means a body cannot change its state of rest by itself. Inertia of motion, a body cannot change its speed by itself. Inertia of direction, a body cannot change its direction by itself. एक बॉडी अपने आप अपनी रेस्ट की स्टेट को नहीं चेंज कर सकती, ना वो अपनी स्पीड को चेंज कर सकती, ना वो अपनी डायरेक्शन को चेंज कर सकती, जब तक कि उस पर कोई बाहर से फोर्स ना लगाया जाए. नाउ वी शैल इलस्ट्रेट न्यूटन्स फर्स्ट लॉ ऑफ मोशन. The first illustration is inertia of rest. If a bus starts suddenly, the passengers are likely to fall in the backward direction. अगर एक बस अचानक चलने लगे या एक घोड़ा अचानक दौड़ने लगे तो उसमें बैठा हुआ घुड़सवार पीछे की ओर गिर जाएगा. Let us explain it. Initially, the bus and the passengers are in the state of rest. When the bus starts suddenly, the lower portion of the passenger being in contact with the bus set in motion. But the upper part of the body is still in the state of rest due to inertia of rest, and therefore the passenger tend to fall in the backward direction. Second illustration, when a branch is shaken, the fruits fall off. अगर एक ब्रांच को हिलाते हैं तो उसमें पके हुए फल नीचे की ओर गिर जाते हैं. When the branch is shaken, the branch is displaced in the direction of applied force. But the fruit, by virtue of inertia of rest, tend to remain at rest and therefore get separated from the branch. When a blanket or a carpet is jerked or it is hit with a stick, dust flies off. अगर किसी कारपेट को या ब्लैंकेट को आप लकड़ी से पीटते हैं या उसको जर्क करते हैं, झटके देते हैं, तो उसमें से धूल अलग हो जाती है. Initially, the blanket and the dust particles are in the state of rest. When the blanket of the carpet is jerked or it is hit with a stick, it is displaced, but the dust particle, due to inertia of rest, remain at rest and get separated from the blanket or the carpet, as the case may be. So these are the illustration of rest. Now, illustration of inertia of motion. If a person jumps out of a moving bus or a train, he is likely to fall in the forward direction, or he has to run in the direction of the bus or the train for some distance. Why? Initially, the whole body of the passenger is moving with the speed of the bus or the train, as the case may be. When he or she jumps out of the bus or the train, when the feet come in contact with the ground, the feet come to rest at once, but the upper body is still moving with the speed of the bus or the train, and therefore the passenger is likely to fall in the forward direction. If brakes are applied to a fast moving bus, the passenger tend to fall in the forward direction. In a moving bus, the passengers are moving with the speed of the bus, and when the brakes are applied and suddenly the speed is decreased to a great extent, the lower portion of the passenger being in direct contact with the bus come to rest, but the upper portion of the body is still moving with the speed of the bus. Therefore, the passengers are likely to fall in the forward direction, and that is why it is advised to use safety belt while in a car. So these are the illustration of inertia of motion. That's all today's, and tomorrow we shall discuss Newton's second law of motion. Thank you.